ahead of the game. Well, the phone is always ringing, I'm caught up on the line. Got a string around my finger, remember who am I? I'm a boss and I'm honestly off my rocker, but follow me, I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. I'm only ever slinging, I'm working overtime. Got a song and I'm the singer, the melody, the vibe. I'm a prodigy, logically, I'm impossibly wanted, and they'll remember my name. They'll remember my name. Ooh, well, I'm ahead now. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. Ooh, well, I'm ahead now. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. Well, I'm ahead now. Well, I'm ahead now. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game.
Throughout the whole course, there were a lot of annotations. This one game, I was playing against strong Czech Grandmaster, Indian International Master Bharat.
Magesh took over in his group classes. Once he reached
This kid, is super talented.
He's really good at calculating. He's really good at the openings.
I think 2700 is gettable in another 3 years.
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. Oh, what are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
So that I give up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome to this second day of the Julius Baer Challenge, part of leg one of the Challenger Chess Tour. My name is Pepe Cuenca, and I'm extremely happy to join once again the one and only Judit Polgar. How are you doing, Judit?
Hi, Pepe. I'm so happy to be here again after all this excitement what we had yesterday. I think we're going to have fun again, but those talented kids, girls and boys, they have to battle it out in the next 2 hours, 2.5. And it will be very difficult to catch up on Esipenko. What do you think?
Right, yeah, he won the 7 games yesterday, so he's the sole leader with 7 out of 7, 21 out of 21. Remember that the winners get 3 points, the draws only 1 point, and the losers 0 points. And then the second place is for Bupala, the young Indian player with 15, so already 6 points ahead of him. And then we have Leon Mendonca also with 15, Satwani. So we have 3 Indian players just chasing him. And the 5th place, Jonas Berry, Frederick Spani, and a bunch of players with 10 points. So what do you think?
Well, I think what we've seen yesterday, it was something that it shows that Esipenko is very much ahead of the others. He is very experienced. He's a very strong player. He has quite some experience also playing with the big guys. And it seems so that he's very much in the spirit of the Blitz game. So it's definitely not his first tournament online. You can feel it the way he's switching ideas, and in some situations it was not so clear. So he got out of the problems in time. He's also pretty good. So it will be extremely difficult to catch him, but for sure we are going to see some fun end games, middle games, tactics, because we saw all those yesterday also. And I also think that some of the players warmed up, and maybe they can show some interesting surprises also.
Right. So talking about Esipenko, we are just going to follow his game versus Frederick Spani, the young German grandmaster. So it's going to be a tough game for sure. Spani is rated 25-66, so one of the toughest opponents in this field. So let's see what happens. Talking about the woman, what do you think? So who is performing better? So the first one in the standings is Bantika Agrabal, right?
Yes, I think she's standing on first, the best lady player. But I see also Carissa over there, so maybe they are very near to each other. They have the same points. I liked very much Carissa, how she played. She's fearless. You can see that she's the only thing she has in her mind is attacking. The way she played one of her Blitz games, sacrificing in the knight on f5. And I like her style. It suits very much and very well for the Blitz game, I believe. But we also seen some other interesting games, I think, by the girls as well. They should be more brave, I think, some of the others. For example, Joka, she had some good games, and so far she's not performing too well. She made only 3 draws. At the same time, she's the lowest rated player. But I do hope that the girls will also catch up, and maybe more Vantika also catching a little bit more ahead and can finish in the top 6 or 8.
Right. So just to let you guys know, I'm seeing that already you're writing some comments on the chat. So just you have some question, we're here to talk to you guys. So don't be shy and ask us whatever you want. So I think it's already, well, 2:59, so only 1 minute to start the games. Just remember that the 2 first players will qualify for the final 4, which will take place. Let me just remember the dates. The 29th and 30th.
Yes, yeah, that's going to be the final. So even though we see that Esipenko had a great day yesterday, we'll see if he can continue it this day. But still, for the second place, there is going to be a lot of excitement for sure. And I still hope that the other participants can a little squeeze Esipenko so that it's not going to be so easy for him. And let's face it, when you have a Blitz tournament, it's matter of the day what kind of form you are. So if you, let's say, if Frederick could be winning this game, then maybe Esipenko would be a little bit unbalanced already. But of course, if Esipenko will win his first 2 games, I don't think anybody can stop him in this tournament in the next 2 hours, and then he would be first. But as we saw, there is a big tie on the second and third place, and after that also. So for second place, for sure, we don't know exactly who should be going to end up there. And of course, the top two is a great thing because it means that they move on and they play the finals. And also, of course, the money prizes are quite significant, as we know that every event has $10,000 of prize fund, which is quite nice for the youngsters to earn in just within a few hours. And we see the first move. Cecilia, great.
Cecilia, maybe the Najdorf. Let's see what happens after d4. Maybe Esipenko goes for a more positional approach.
It looks very much like that.
Right. So the Moscow variation, more solid.
Disappointed with bishop b5.
Kalsenev style, yeah.
No, with 7 out of 7, you play d4, unless you really want to make sure that you win the event, right?
Right.
Solid.
So in these positions, white usually strikes with d4, and then we reach some sort of Maroczy structure, right?
Well, I guess now he's going to play d4.
Right, otherwise you won't have a chance anymore after bishop g7.
Yeah, I was playing these kind of structures myself with both colors, but I remember more playing it with black. It's a very stable position for white. It's very slow without the white square bishops. There's much more life with the white square bishops on the board.
Right. So it's a better version compared to the usual accelerated dragon Maroczys, right? Because black has exchanged a pair of bishops. And
is this rook supposed to be on d8? His plan will be e6 and d5?
Yeah, some people tried this plan. I was preparing this line with one of my guys from Puerto Rico in the Olympiad, and he really liked this plan of going e6 and d5. It's really a direct approach. So let's see how white faces. Usually, I mean, white can also retreat this knight to e2 and then the queen d3.
Queen d3, provocation to knight e5.
Right. I guess you just go back to e2 and then protect the c4 pawn. Nothing happens.
Yeah. Interesting. Normally people play queen d2. That would be the natural way of continuing, right?
Right. So now after e6, I guess you bring a rook to d1. And then what happens after d5? Some mess is created.
Well, it's possible to go he takes d5, he takes d5, knight c6, and then e5.
Right. So let's say e6, rook 81, d5, takes,
and this is what we are witnessing.
And let's just say rook d1, d5, takes, knight c6, bc, and e5 followed by f4. So
yeah, that would be the first thing to consider from my perspective if I'm playing against d5. Well, it's a big achievement for white if white can stop black from playing this d5. Rook c8.
Rook c8. So now knight e5 is a threat, naturally, because the c4 pawn is hanging. So maybe you can just protect it with b3. But then knight e5 followed by d5 should be interesting, right?
Yes, but I don't believe you have anything else than b3.
Can you take on c6, maybe?
Usually it's not something that people do. I think queen c6 could be the move. And somehow it's a relief for black, kind of. Black is winning some tempos.
Right.
Compared to, let's say, knight takes d4, bishop d4, then bishop has on the diagonal, e5 is supported. So he did not play b3, but goes queen e2. Now sometimes maybe c5 could be unpleasant.
c5? And after pawn takes, you want to go knight f5 or?
Well, knight f5, knight b3, and capturing it back.
So, and after c5, knight takes d4, I guess you just take with the bishop. And still not easy to capture in c5 because of bishop f6. And then black loses a piece.
d6. I think black is
Interesting.
doing pretty fine. It seems like white lost the tempo with the queen d3, queen e2 maneuver.
Knight b3. So.
Well, he wants to go bishop b6 and something to put on c5. Probably the pawn. So I would think that queen e7 will be the next move. Going out of potential knight a4, knight e6. Queen c7. So after knight e4, knight d7.
Yeah, right. The only move to cover the b6 square.
So after all, the rook on d1 should be on c1 to have some knight d5 kind of tricks.
Right. It would be very nice to have this f1 rook on c1.
Yeah, that would be a nice move, right?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
That's why this is always a debate, I think, in these kind of structures. Which rook to put on d1? I think there was also written a book about it, how to place the rook, because this can happen in quite a few openings.
Right.
You don't know which rook to put on d1, whether it's going to be useful on f1 or the other one should be on c1. And in these structures, we can say that normally rook on c1 and d1 is more useful somehow than rook on f1, because the question is whether white will be able to play f4, f5 at some point. By the way, what happens on knight e5 now?
Knight e5, and then the c4 pawn is hanging. So can you maybe play c5 there? But I believe that after d takes e5, black is fine, right?
Well, it seems to me that black is having a very nice position.
King h1. What's the idea behind king h1 after knight e5? Because after knight a4, knight takes e4, nothing really happens. Rook c1, b5. And
I believe that c5 is the only move. So black is doing very well.
Yeah, you get rid of this weakness on d6, and you should be happy, right? So I'm getting some information from my spies that are saying that Carissa Jeep didn't arrive to the game. So Satwani will join his game very soon. Okay. Where are you, Carissa? So knight e5 on the board and c5 from Mezipenko.
c5, no other move. D takes, bishop c5. I'm wondering if black is going to go knight h5 possibly at some point to control the black squares on f4. Or that's not the place.
Can I go f4? Well, not now. After knight h5 is not possible anymore. Also rook d8, right? You can try to exchange everything, and why black is going to be worse in this position.
Rook d1 takes. What about knight h5 now? Would white play...
maybe bishop e3, just going back?
Knight c4.
Knight c4 is very annoying over there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because now bishop d6 is a threat. The black has to react in some way against it.
Yeah, I guess rook d8 is the other try.
Yeah, he just heard you.
Right.
Well, of course, nobody should be scared. Nobody hears us. They are not allowed. They are focusing and playing the game.
Right.
Well, of course, if black can reach to c4 with his knight at some point, that would be a great improvement. And now it would be possible. But
knight c4 was possible.
Quiet. He goes to c6. Why not to c4, by the way?
I was more active, targeting the b2 pawn.
Interesting that Esipenko plays so extremely solid this game. I'm surprised a bit.
Maybe he knows he's already leading with 6 points ahead, and then he's not in the mood to play crazy chess anymore.
Yeah, but it's Blitz after all, right?
Right.
Well, this is quite difficult to catch Esipenko, who has 2 points, 2 victories ahead of everybody. So it will be difficult to catch up in 8 games.
Well, but the draws, are only 1 point, So
That's true. That's true.
this is kind of a draw for, I believe. Like changing
Well, yeah, there is
everything.
not much black will be able to do. White comes king f2, king e3.
Yeah, and they
comes
agreed to a
back.
draw.
They also agreed to draw already.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
this
okay.
was not so interesting. What about some other games? Like I see Salima's game also kind of interesting, but isn't it lost for white, for black?
Salimova, you mean this game, right?
Yeah, it looks very unpleasant. Then what else do we have?
Well, what is going on here? Like this bishop on a3, super annoying.
Well, queen c7 and it's cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, the rooks are hanging, knight is hanging.
Right, you can even take everything and then take on a5 and well,
okay.
The only thing you cannot do is to lock your bishop, after queen f6, gf6, bishop f8, king f8, rook a5, maybe f5, and then king g7, and the bishop is trapped.
But I believe there are not many ways how you can ruin it with white.
Right. But I can always find the way to ruin it. That's my ability.
I think let's take queen c7 and then we can pack this one.
Right. And only 5 seconds for Salimova. Somebody's asking if I'm Leko's son.
Leko is a young man too.
That's right. I could. I am, guys.
So let's go another game because I'm pretty sure that this is not going to be ruined by white. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
I see something.
Maybe Bupala's game?
Yeah. Let's see him. Well, Maria Malichka is not doing well until now, so she did not score, I think, so far. But I hope she will.
Right. And now, what's going on here? Like queen h6?
Queen
it's
g3.
Never possible because of queen g3, that's right.
Yeah.
So king h8 anyway. She doesn't want to be over there. Rook g4, and after queen h5, there's rook g7, I believe.
Well, that, yeah, it's not good. Well, queen e7.
Queen e7, and she's kind of solid there. It's not easy to...
Maybe white should be getting somehow queen e3, queen g3, but black can try rook c4. Somehow it would be nice for black to eliminate the g4 attacking rook.
Right.
Rook is coming. Okay,
yeah.
So rook c4.
Rook c4, nice defensive resource.
The question is that after rook c4, if rook g7 works.
Ooh, rook g7, king takes, rook g3, and then king h7.
Oh, f5.
Fine, very brave.
But maybe it's not bad at all,
I like this move, actually. So.
White kind of has to take if he... Yeah, I think he has to take. Otherwise, it would be very good. But even this way, it's not easy for white because knight e4 can show up. Right. And also possibly black can go e5. But now we are playing on seconds because white has 28, goes down 30 against 20 seconds for black.
Right. So can I push e5 now?
I would. I think I would. But knight e4 is also tempting, and only after that to play e5, let's say. Because on c3, the pawn is vulnerable. Even queen g5 can be a possibility.
e5 on the board.
On the board.
Now I guess the rook has to go to f3 or g4. Rook d4 on the board.
Black can go knight f6 also.
Yeah, knight f6. Knight h7.
Wow.
She wants to bring the other knight.
New knight is showing up on f6.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think I would like to play this with white anymore.
Yeah, it's very risky.
After f3, the h5 pawn can be also problematic. What about queen c5?
In d5.
d4s?
d4, and then you create a passer over there. Queen c5.
Oh, yeah. This is why I wanted immediately. Of course, they have only seconds, so she has to be fast. Play
3 seconds.
Play anything. d4, good.
Just takes, and rook takes.
Okay, now it's a mouse battle.
Only 10 seconds for Bupala. He needs to hurry up. So I guess he's going to take and queen d2. And d4 is hanging. Well, 94.
94 takes.
Takes and bring the other knight, right? At the end of the day.
Actually, she could bring the knight immediately also.
Mhm.
Queen h5.
Queen h5, just give me
Grab
that pawn.
it. Be fast. Take. Queen a8. Queen a8. King h7.
Nothing
Okay,
happens.
10 seconds. Queen h5. Grab that pawn.
Grab that pawn and then you can come back if you want.
d3 also cool.
Queen c1. That's good move as well. There are no checks.
Not bad
So-
at all. Knight h5 later maybe.
Knight h5, queen e8, king h7,
Yeah,
queen e4.
check.
Yeah.
No, king g8. Much better move.
Now it needs to be, bishop
But you
b3
have
activated.
4 seconds. 3. Play
1
fast.
second, you need to move.
Fast.
Oof.
Oh.
And now it's getting tricky because the bishop is activated.
Just made the move, but I'm scared for black now.
Yeah. Maybe g4 here. No, bishop c2.
Take that pawn with the check.
Finally.
Play something. Queen e8. Queen e3.
Okay, she's playing very solid now. She doesn't want any trouble. The queen protecting the pawn and the knight protecting the
Play
h7
queen
square.
d7 okay. So now queen e8, queen d8, queen e8,
Yeah.
queen d8. Just collect few times some seconds.
But careful, g4, f4, g5.
So go back to d8 and exchange that queen on
Now
d7.
g4. I like g4 now.
Queen e6 check. This 8 seconds.
Okay, he grabbed the pawn. This is, I mean,
In this kind of position, I think she should have just played queen d7, queen e8, and
Right.
just play it very fast because now Bupala collected some time, and now he's going to be playing back and forth and plays on her time.
right. It's going to play for the win for sure now. 10 seconds versus 6. And happy.
Give it check.
Check and go back.
Yeah, check on d7. g4.
g4. Queen
Queen
a8.
Counter attack.
It's getting tricky. I like then f4.
Okay, so now f4, queen a8.
And now f4, right? f4, g5 is the threat, so
d7, sorry, it's about
Mm.
time to do that.
queen e3 is
Nah,
coming as well. Okay, now you can take and then make a draw.
and knight d5. The question is time.
Knight c7, maybe bishop f7 and e6.
d5, king g7.
Right, g5, king g7,
Just
nothing
in
really
time.
happens.
Just in time.
But only 1 second. Oof.
So what do you predict in this game? As a
I
result?
think it's gonna be a draw, yeah? Just bring the king to e7 and
But king goes f3, e4, f5, g6.
e6 and suddenly troubles.
Oh,
We
I'm
can't
afraid
believe.
for black. I'm
Yeah,
afraid
yeah.
for black.
98. One more tempo and the knight will be on g7 and no penetration. But now the king is arriving to g6.
Ah, what a pity.
Yeah, I think she's gonna lose this game. King h6 and
Ay.
it's done.
Well, this was what a pity this game for Malichka.
Okay, so I have information from my spies. Garifulina and Bantica, they won this round by 4-5.
Okay, that's a bad news for the opponents.
Yes.
There was Raunak.
Right.
Where
So
was he?
Satwani.
And other games.
So no more games going on, I believe. So let's check the results. And so Bantica and Garifulina, they won by forfeit. That means that Carissa Jeep didn't make it on time. And the same applies for Satwani. So, and then the Zipenko Spani draw. Verre beat Zalimova, draw between Asalvajeva and Sabita, and Maurizi beat Mendonca,
Wow.
and Aditya
Okay.
beat Joka. Yeah.
Okay, so with black, it's at least as popular to win as with the white pieces. And
Right.
Esipenko made a draw, right?
Esipenko made a draw, exactly, versus...
Yeah, that we saw to start with.
Exactly.
Okay. So
So,
who is on number 2? Let's see the standings if we can.
right.
Just
So
for a moment to see what has changed.
we have it already on the screen. So we have Esipenko leader with 22, and then the second place for Bupala, 18 points, and then Mendonca 15 points, fourth place for Berre, 14 points, and then 2 players with 13 points, Maurizi and Bantica, who climbs to the sixth place, the first woman in the standings so far.
Okay, so let's see. The new game has started. What do you
Right.
think about Bupala's game now?
That's great. So let's move to the Bupala's game. Where are you, my friend?
Yeah, there.
There we go.
Yeah, it's an Arhangelsk variation, right?
That's right.
Almost. Black
So
plays that system, yeah. Knight
Mhm.
C3, D3, H6.
H6, stopping bishop G5 ideas, and now knight D5. Takes and bishop D5, I guess, is the idea. Bishop D7.
Or to B7,
bishop.
right?
That's
It's always a question which direction to defend the knight.
I don't know why I usually like to put it on D7 and then move the rook and so knight E7.
Yes, because after that, first of all, you don't have to exchange the white square bishop, right? So if you want to keep the pieces on, then it's a better choice.
Rook D8 was played.
Things look so good for black here. I would pick black.
Yeah, I mean, you have only developed these 2 pieces, no castle yet. Now, maybe knight E7 and short castle. You're going to bring the knight to G6 later and look for the F4 square, which is very tasty as well. So
I love G5 kind of things. It will come. Don't you think so?
Yeah, after white castles for sure, but I don't know if straight away it's also possible.
Well, this is why H3 moves are tricky when black has not castled yet.
Right.
Because it can easily happen that black goes G5 at some point.
Right. There is a nice game. The first game I saw with these kind of ideas was between Shirov and Adams, or it was an Adams idea or something. It was very, very impressive, like G5, G4, and then you sacrifice that pawn, then you play Rook G8, and then...
But the nicest game, what I recall, is Aronyan Kramnik. For sure, you remember from the Candidates Berlin tournament.
Right.
I mean, that was so shocking.
Right.
That black just goes G5, Rook G8, G5 in move 7 or 8.
Right.
That was absolutely brilliant.
No, Kramnik was playing extremely aggressively that tournament. I really liked
but
his
unfortunately
games.
for him, he played a few good games, and somehow it seemed like after that he lost control, and he wanted simply to win every position.
Every game.
Yeah, every position. It's like, why?
That was his last candidate tournament, right?
I think so, because he retired
That's right.
in 2019, I think. He retired after Raikanze.
Right. That was in the Berlin candidates, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
Berlin Candidates was 2018. No?
Yes,
Or
I
16?
think so.
No,
Not
I think
sure.
it was 18. I think it was 18. 18 because Fabiano won the 18. Yeah. D4.
D4. Now you cannot go back to A7 because of DE5 and bishop A7. So that's why the bishop needs to be protected.
Yes, after rook goes to D8, bishop cannot go in such a positions to A7 anymore.
And I'm always very scared about these sacrifices on h3. Sorry about this, Aaron.
I'm also a little bit if I would play it with white.
Okay, nothing really happens after queen g6. I always this nice h4.
I think white will have to take on f4 maybe.
That's not ideal, right? Giving up the bishop pair, but it looks extremely scary, this knight on f4. Some people also play something like king h2, right? And then knight g1 in order to go g3.
Yes, if you have the time, then it's possible. But knight h2, it does look not bad. Possibly knight g4 sometimes. Though it's very hard to kick away the f4 knight.
What about queen g5 here? I want to force you to take on f4. So.
Well, queen g5, I think queen f3 may be still possible.
And after knight h3, queen h3, bishop h3, bishop g5. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so after queen g5, queen f3 seems to be still...
Yeah, and then maybe king h1, g3 is a threat.
Why not?
Can I try to go after queen f3, king h8 in order to go f5 in the next move?
f5 you want.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And after king h1, f5, right?
And some mess is created. Queen f3 on the board, 3 minutes 20 seconds for Bupala, 2 minutes 35 seconds for Maurizi. He's one of the youngest grandmasters in France, I think. I mean,
yeah, well, nowadays we see younger and younger generations who are reaching the grandmaster title. And the reason is partly because there are endless opportunities to play on the grandmaster tournaments where you can make your requirements.
That's right.
In Hungary, we have the first Saturday event where many Indian players and many international players from all over, they come.
Right.
Even Magnus was playing in this traditional tournament in Hungary.
Right. I played there. I played there when I was 17. I made my first iron norm. Like
okay. Also, Fabiano was playing on this series. So there are many players came to complete their required amount of norms.
It's a very nice city. So.
King h8, your move is on the board.
f5 is coming now, and the party starts.
Yeah. But
so can I go king h1, f5, g3? I guess f takes e4 looks very nice for black.
Well, there I think black will sacrifice.
Right. But then what to play with white? Because f5 is coming and cannot go queen g3 because of knight e2.
So king h1, f5. And white is going down in time quite a bit.
Maybe can I just take on f5 in that position? Well, the most solid
so
approach.
He couldn't stand it. He just wanted to avoid this whole thing. Maybe c2 against f5.
I completely understand.
You shouldn't forget that the b6 bishop is not very active, and it's hard to imagine how it will be. Rook d1. It's important to hang on and hold on the d4 pawn.
He tries to open the diagonal after c5, but rook d1 just keeps everything protected. cd, cd. And after f5, I believe white can push e5.
Oh, yeah. Then he would do that, I think. Rook e2. And eventually e5 may come anyway.
Right.
But I wonder what the h2 knight will be doing.
Well, you can regroup it via f1 and d2 at some point, but still.
Or maybe queen d3, knight f3, and also after queen d3, bishop c2.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a provocation with bishop e6. Of course, d5, I would not like to play with white.
Right.
Because then later the black bishop goes back to b6 and becomes active again.
Maybe you move queen d3 here in order to go knight f3.
I think that's kind of sensible.
Can I just go after the foot? Bishop takes e6 and queen a3.
I thought about that, but I was scared that
b4.
it's b4, for example.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He goes for it.
He goes
I mean,
for
even
it.
if you go bishop c7, you can take on a6 because of f3.
Right, right.
But
And
now
now-
queen b3, and the black bishop is still not very good.
Yeah, the knight is fantastically placed on f3.
Nice.
I like white's position here.
Very unusual bishop on a5.
Right. And you can also start occupying the c file at some point. Now e6 is hanging, so black has to waste her tempo protecting it.
Queen b3.
Queen b3. Can I go rook f6? Maybe just to go rook g6 and try to attack somehow.
Well, I guess knight f3 comes.
Right. And then,
For sure. And then there will be no attack.
right.
Because of the h6 pawn is there. Maybe if there would be no h6, so rook f6 goes rook h6, possibly there could be maybe, but actually it's not enough pieces, I think, for black.
Right, right. So rook c2. Once again, the e6 pawn is hanging.
It's still under attack.
e5.
5.
Knight f3 looks very natural now.
Yeah, and also sometimes knight h4, knight g6.
Mm-hmm.
I really like white's position.
The light squares are very weak now. Bishop b6, a4.
That's a interesting move, but is it good? Takes on a3?
Yeah, I guess black has to take on a3. And now queen a3 maybe. I don't want to trade queens in this position. Or maybe I want.
Well, I'm disappointed with white having switched the queens off the board.
Yes. Now I think black can take with the bishop on d4 and then rook a8 and start also attacking the weakness on a3.
Looking for counter chances, yeah?
Yeah, should be
on the a3 weakness.
this position for black, I believe. You play rook a8, and if white protects the a3 pawn, you play rook a6. Bring the other rook to a8, and somehow rook c8.
Also makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Rook b2. Now b5 is under sort of trouble. Maybe rook b5, bishop c5 still fighting. Now bishop a3.
But white is nice. Knight f5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's a very tricky move because knight e7 is threatening to win some material.
Yeah. Maybe I have to go something like rook e8 and then f3. So 25 seconds only for Bupala and 20 seconds for Maurizi. Rook c2. Counterplay, but can I just take this pawn on d6? After rook d8, there is knight f7.
No, but knight d6, bishop c5.
Ah, then you go after the f2 pawn.
Yeah. Actually, I have the feeling that white gave away the knight's position. Now rook c4.
Goes back to c8.
Wants to give the opportunity to make a repetition of moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going for it. And that's a draw. Okay. So what else do we have? Once again, Carissa lost by forfeit.
Oh.
And let's check this game. Bantika versus Esipenko.
Wow, she's
She's
she
pressing it.
can beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be honest, what Esipenko did in game 1, I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. So now you think he deserves to be punished?
I'm not saying that he deserves to be punished, but I've seen so many occasions when me myself was trying to play too solid.
Right.
And I've seen other people also who wanted to, when they have a lead and you don't want to make any effort anymore, but just to make draws. And that can easily fire back.
That's right. It has happened to all of us, yeah, at some point.
Yeah. I don't know if White will be able to convert her advantage. King h3, I like.
King h3. You can also start pushing.
Now
h4.
I think there is a good chance that Black will be able to save it, because Black is very active.
Mm-hmm. Now Queen c3 is coming, so you gotta be careful. Even yeah.
Well, that's a little exaggeration, but I understand what you mean.
No, I can lose this position. Trust me.
I can lose it immediately by playing Queen e1, Queen c2, Queen e2, d3.
Exactly. So you see what I mean. 1 second in the clock, now d3, and then with 3 seconds, what do you play there?
No, actually, maybe it's lost.
Maybe it's lost already, yeah. d2, Queen f7, probably perpetual.
That's a perpetual check.
That's right. Queen a2, smart move. Now d2 is coming. And 1 second in the clock.
Yeah, but now d2, King e2.
Queen e2, d2. That's the end. Yeah, that's the end.
Oh.
Queen, King g7. No more checks. Bye bye. I know myself, so I can lose this position so many times. That's why I was saying, like.
No, but this is too painful.
That's very painful, yeah.
This is what I said, that Esipenko is playing Blitz like, you know,
right.
He understands how Blitz works.
Mm-hmm.
But this was, I mean, we switched and it was like 2 pawns up for White, right? With the bishop.
Right, at this moment, no, wait. Here.
But probably Black.
This position, yeah. This was the moment, or maybe a little bit before. Yeah, maybe just 1 pawn up, but.
By the way, can you go back 2 moves when White played bishop h3?
Sure.
Couldn't
Here?
White play Queen h6?
Queen h6 is his mate.
Queen b1 and Queen e4, right?
Queen e1 and Queen e4, that's probably a perpetual.
And
yeah.
Queen e5. Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, this is Blitz. What's going on the other boards?
Okay, so no more games going on. So let's check the results. Or maybe the standings. Vane, can you show the standings? Our amazing producer from Venezuela, Vanessa Montserrat. There we go. So we have Esipenko leading with 25 out of 27. Then Bupala, 19 points. Satwani and Bendonka with 15 points. Spani, 14. Also Maurizi, Aditya, and Garifulina, Berre. So like 5 players with 14 points, and then Vantika Agraval with 13 points.
Yeah. And Jokaga, she won her first game.
Joka, who beat Joka?
She won against Malichka.
Malichka, that's right.
Yeah.
So Joka has 6 points now. Position number 15.
But the standing is still similar. Okay,
Right.
so next round. And let's see who is... we've seen the standings there. So let's pick who is playing for second place.
Second place. So
let's see.
Bupala and Zadwani Mendonca. So these guys are fighting for second place.
Let's see for Sadvani's game.
Okay, Satwani is playing against Bupala.
So that's a crucial game now.
That's right, second versus third.
And they are, well, actually, Bupala is having a great point lead because he has 4 points ahead, which means in reality 1.5.
That's right.
Right, so that's also quite a significant lead, and now we are in round 10.
Exactly. So
out of the 15 round robin tournament.
So it's very important for Satwani. He wants to go for the second place to beat him.
Well, he has to go for it, and also Mendonca should be winning his game. Who is he playing? He's playing in next to it.
Yeah. Mendonca is playing versus Sabita.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the time? It's 40, so it should be starting
just
in any second. Let's see if Carissa shows up.
Well, I do hope for her. For her in America, it's the morning time.
It can happen, yeah. Have you lost a game by like for 5 because you were sleeping and you didn't wake up? No, right?
Never.
It didn't happen to me.
No. No.
E4, C5. Okay, we have a Sicilian. Open Sicilian. Some fun.
Sveshnikov, Pelican? No, Rouser.
Classical. Right.
Rouser. Good old classical.
Queen D3.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I've never played this with white, but it became popular nowadays. I was, of course, playing the classical Queen D2 long castle F4 system.
Also in the Taimano nowadays, a lot of people bring the queen to F3, to D3, and then the idea is to bring it sometimes to G3, right? Proposing a queen trade in the Taimano. So.
Yes. There also this probably it's some computer engine influence.
For sure. I might just threatening now to go knight D5 and then just go like the D6 pawn. That's maybe right. So A6 natural to cover the B5 square. And F4.
And E5.
So white is getting ready to push E5. Queen C7. Can I just go E5 anyway here? Because there is some bishop F6 at the end of the day and then Queen D7.
That's a good question.
Yeah, he goes for that.
So. Well, so this can be then very powerful.
That's right. Maybe it could be even winning. I don't know.
Well, D takes E, F takes E, knight G4.
Knight G4, yeah. Bishop E7.
And knight E4 comes, right?
Right. Looking for the D6 square. So it could be very dangerous now for Satwani. The point is now black cannot take twice on E5 because after knight takes E5, queen takes E5, bishop F6 just wins again because there's queen D7 at the end of the day.
Knight G4, well, there was nothing better.
Can I take with my king on E7, Judit? Or?
That's what I wanted to take, but I think knight E4 and queen A3 would be very uncomfortable.
Okay, that's right.
And now it's very uncomfortable for black because he cannot castle because of D7. So knight, okay, well, he can, but on the other side.
Maybe knight D6 and queen D4 centralizing and protecting everything.
That's a nice move, queen D4. You can even do it immediately.
Also, knight D6, knight F7. What's going on
knight
there?
F2.
Knight F2, right.
Comes from this side also.
So maybe after knight D6 can be at queen D4, still knight H6 survives, protecting F7.
Wow. Looks very difficult for black.
Right. H3 straight away. What happens here? Whoa, queen D4 and then queen A7? Is this what he wants to do? Sorry. There's a knight on E4. Didn't say anything.
I don't know why he went H3. Maybe he wants to go G4 and just keep the knight out of the play.
Looks nice. So The other option is knight d6. Queen b3. So knight d6, bishop a6 is now a threat, right?
Yeah, or immediately bishop a6 also works.
More beautiful. So black has to be extremely careful. I really like this move because now there's no time for king b8 anymore.
Well, it's very dangerous for black. He cannot go knight h to f5 because knight d6 anyway. So now knight d6 check.
Knight d6 and bishop a6 should be winning a pawn. There we go.
Well, it's a valuable pawn.
Knight c8. Well, he's fighting. But it's a clear pawn up for white.
Well, yeah, I mean, knight takes c8, rook c8, bishop e2, for example.
So queen b4 maybe.
d5. Now you want to go bishop queen b4.
I want to go queen b4 here, yeah.
That's good to keep the knight on d6.
Right. And then maybe double rooks on the d file. There's on rook d3 even to bring the rook along the third rank, causing some problems. And it's a very sad position for black.
Well, it is. It's very passive. Plus, there is an extra pawn for white.
So this could be a very important win for Bupala.
Absolutely. If he wins, he's catching up to having 18 points, still 1 point behind Satvani. No. No, then he's taking a huge lead. Sorry.
Right, he's 19 points already.
Well, yeah, he's having the lead. I thought the other way around. So actually, if Bupala wins, then it will be extremely difficult to catch him from position place number 2. Because already before this game, he has a point and a half ahead.
Okay, knight f5 has been played. Once again, trying to eliminate this guy on d6, which is extremely powerful. And I guess there is no more ways to keep this knight on d6, right?
Well, white has to make a decision to take. And I guess bishop d3, for example.
Can I just take on f3 and then on e5, Judit, or am I missing something there?
No, that's possible. So maybe white wants to go. He also decided this, right? Not even thinking about capturing the pawn.
Right. And now rook e1, I believe, but then rook e8, and then you have the same trouble.
Knight a7.
Knight a7.
E6 will be coming.
6, you get rid of this weak pawn. Maybe that's black's idea, knight to take on f3 and then knight c6, but now it is a threat. So black is trying to win the pawn on e5.
Absolutely. And also if after bishop f3, knight c6 comes there, even taking with the knight on e5, that would be a great recovery for black.
That's right. Yeah, good move, this queen c3. Prophylaxis against bishop f3. So you take on c7 and then gf.
But he takes anyway, takes, g takes f.
And then I guess you're going to protect the e5 pawn with f4.
Unless black wants to go f4.
Right. Rook d4.
That's
I like this move.
Actually. I like it too. Because rook f4, rook h4, all kind of counter chances.
Yeah. And suddenly it's not easy to protect this h3 pawn. Well, you have to go back to f1 with the bishop, but It's never ideal. C3. So rook f4 or rook h4 are coming for sure.
White ruined his position a lot, I must
And
say.
it could be even dangerous. I mean, if black gets one pawn.
Oh,
then-
yeah. If rook e3, what about f6? Maybe
Mhm.
f6 is possible. e6, knight c6, and knight e5.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you are on time to play. No. Sorry. Yeah, that looks very good. Rook e6.
He doesn't want to allow f6, e6.
Mhm.
I understand. So white should be playing rook d to e1, I think.
Right, and then maybe some plan could be bishop c2 and bishop b3 as
Okay,
well.
so that's what happened.
Knight c6, I get rook e1. Now I like white again.
But rook e1, rook h4,
Right,
bishop
Bishop
b3,
b3.
rook e7.
and then I'm just losing a pawn.
Well, it's very tricky suddenly.
I guess I'm just losing the pawn on h3 because rook h1 is not possible because of rook e5.
Well, maybe white should be playing bishop d5, centralizing, and after rook h3 to play b4, a4, and somehow to activate his pawns.
So who runs more? Black is also going to run with the h pawn, for example.
And white is running down very much in time.
Only 40 seconds for our friend Bupala. So he goes for
And
your plan.
Sadvani has more than 2 minutes.
B4. He did it. Now h5. h4, rook g3, h3. g5,
Who is
g4.
better? Who is better, I'm asking.
I don't know. I have no idea. g5.
Yes, because he doesn't want to allow white to play f4 and consolidate.
That was a very nice move.
And it's not so easy for white actually on the queen side to move, because a4 you can never play really b5 because knight a5 and then the black squares are very weak.
There's a nice blockade over there along the
Yeah.
dark squares. And then you can even bring the king to b6 and c5. How are you going to continue pushing? But black has very easily situation to push on the king side by playing h5, g4, f4, even h4. I didn't like knight d8, Judith, so.
I don't understand knight d8. I just simply don't understand why was it a decision made by black. Well, king c5 will be coming.
But now king b3, a4, a5, a6. Or even, no, I wanted to give a check on d5, but I cannot move the bishop really.
Knight e6.
So is white capturing? Yes. She takes with the pawns at 20. So
There is a very tricky idea for white.
yeah, rook d3, rook d1 and mate, right?
Yeah, but it's slow.
It's very slow, and black is already pushing g4. I think black is much faster now. a5.
That's a big race. Because now if g3, then rook d3 and rook d1.
Right.
But
So rook d7 first. I like this move.
Just to make sure, prophylactical move.
And now h5, h4. Well, rook e4,
But
h5.
It's unbelievable with white not to win this game the way it turned out in the opening.
Right. I guess it's now completely lost.
Oh, rook f8, rook c8 mate. Look at that.
Oof. Wow.
Look at that.
What a nice resource.
That king is like blockading on the c4, but
Can I just go rook g5 and then rook e5 or something like this? But then a6.
yeah, but still a6
You
stays.
take and king b6, right? So this is maybe the only chance yet for black.
But now he should have played rook f7.
So at least you
He should have played rook f7, but now he wants to go here.
and
King d6, a6 takes b.
right, and then b7 is coming. But
Too
also,
many hard pawns here.
yeah, so b8 comes with a check, so
But
you're
it's
gonna go really g3.
maybe it's perpetual check. Well, I don't know. King b4, c5 is coming.
c5,
Look,
c6, and c5, king d7, rook c7.
And rook g7. That should be winning for white.
Yes.
Probably king e5. No, maybe king d5 now with black. King d5.
King d5. Yeah, and after c6, rook b1.
b1. And after king a5, rook either rook a1 or king c5. Hold on, king c5 would be strong.
Right. Rook d7, rook c7.
So, what is it?
So maybe a
King
draw.
c6 back.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna end up in a draw here. Crazy. Because after b7, you just go and check, and then g3.
No, I think white should be going for, has to go for a draw perpetually.
Yeah, he's going for it. Yeah. Wow, nice draw.
Wow, that was quite turbulence in the game, I must say, in this game.
I really like this resource, rook f8 and rook c8 main. I couldn't imagine. I thought white was already losing on the spot.
But maybe if he would have played rook f7, wasn't it possible for white to get something more?
Let's go and check. So rook f8, maybe this moment, right?
Yes,
Rook f7.
here.
So I guess rook e5
And just play rook c8 and rook b7.
So you mean now?
c7 check.
Yes, king d6 and rook b7.
b7.
Right. This is extremely fast. Can I go maybe just rook g5,
a6.
b6? Yeah, you are faster.
But okay, before it was already problematic.
Yeah, maybe this is win.
Okay, so what else do we have still running?
We have some games running. For example, what's going on here?
We have
Mendonca.
Mendonca having a winning endgame, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bishop e3, not yet. Ah, bishop e3.
Why not?
Yeah, it's winning. Oh, he didn't play it.
King e5. Maybe he's not in a hurry. Just wants to go b6 and then king d6, king d7. And force this pawn to go to f6.
Yeah,
and then
okay,
just
there are
take it.
many ways of collecting the point.
King e7. And now this is just taking the f7 pawn. And she resigns.
Okay.
And what else? No more games. Yes, we have this game,
Well,
which is not so exciting.
shouldn't be a win for white, I must say, if you think about it. I hope she plays c4. No.
Yeah, no.
No. Garifulana is playing for more. The thing is, the only problem is that in this position, you can only play for time, which is not necessarily so good to do. I mean, this is the kind of position you would not really be happy to win, isn't it?
Right.
This is not where you should be looking the victory.
King c1, aggressive. And do you play online sometimes, just for fun? Or you used to play online?
No, actually,
right.
I was never a big fan of playing online. I played long time ago when it started to become popular. And I know that many players like Shirov and many others were playing. Somehow I was not tempted to do so.
So it's not the same nowadays, right? Do you remember in the candidates, Firuja was playing until 6 a.m. Bullet?
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
versus Naroditsky, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, everybody heard of that. I hope this game will not go on for too long.
Maybe maximum 50 moves. I hope our system declares the draw immediately.
Well, in the meantime, I can say that Aditya Mittal won his game against Malichka. I'm so sorry for her. She did not score so far. It's very tough for her, it seems. And, well, it's a draw finally. So we finished this round, and just within seconds, I think we're going to see the next round starts. What is the standings right now? Of course, Esipenko still has a huge lead ahead, 8 points lead.
Wow.
That is something practically impossible to catch up on. It's how many advantages is that? It's 2 victory and 2 draws.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
It's not 2.5. It's more than half, but it's not full.
Right.
And Bupala has 20 now out of 30. And Mendonca came up to 3rd place together. Actually, there are a huge tie, you know, between Bupala, Mendonca, Svane, Maurizi, Aditya, Mittal, and Baer, and Sadvani.
Right.
No. Sorry. I messed it up. No. Mendonca is 3rd, and only from 4 there is a tie.
Right. But there are only 3 points between the 2nd and the 7th. So it's quite tense, the battle for 2nd place.
Yeah, you lose one, the other one wins, and then they catch up. So let's see now the game between Bupala again. Let's see Bupala.
Okay, Bupala versus Sabita.
Sabita.
We have this Najdorf with a6, knight b3. Not the main line.
Let's see.
G4.
G4. We both got enthusiastic about G4. It's always fun. This is the spirit we have to have.
Right.
In the Sicilian. Nice.
F4. All in.
Yeah.
H4 now.
And more coming. Yeah. But maybe Queen F3, Queen H3.
Beautiful.
Well, not I still like it when the bishop on F8, and then if you have the queen on H3, then G6 can be unpleasant.
Right.
Because you have the attack on the H file and towards the E6. Yeah.
There's no really time for that.
Well, now White has to decide whether is he ready to castle.
Right. I guess long side, right? If I go short castle here, you will be very sad.
Usually I was always mostly I was a fan of long castle.
I know.
In these positions. But you see knight b6 is strong now because knight c4 shows up in the next
right one. And then you can get the dark square bishop, which is always nice, but white has a lot of space advantage here.
Let's see if black wants to capture on e3.
I still like white's position here after knight e3, queen e3, h4, h5, and you put the automatic pilot and start pushing like a crazy and see what happens. Also, knight c5 is an idea at some point. Maybe black is not in a hurry to take on e3, but okay, he did.
Knight a5. Yeah, this is kind of a common move to make.
I was thinking you did about e5 in this position. Because my idea is to take on f4. Of course, you play h4, then I take and then play knight e5 there.
Yeah, but then the b3 knight probably would try to come knight d4,
right.
Knight f5.
Right. I missed that completely. So knight a5 takes, and king b1. This is
King
always the
B1
kind
is
of...
the move.
Right. You do it when you don't know what to do it, you do it anyway.
And here, actually, it's not without concrete idea.
Right.
Because b4 was threatening, so the a2 has to be protected.
Exactly. So now is white ready to push f5 in the next move?
f5, absolutely, I think. Well, the only thing is that maybe black will be capturing on f5 because there's a pin. So
Right.
the bishop is still attacked.
So we need to waste one more tempo in order to push f5. Maybe just h4.
h4, that's logical. Also, maybe bishop f3 to play f5, though the g5 might be also under attack. So h4 is the most logical, by the way.
Right. I was also thinking about bishop h3 in order to play f5 and then put more pressure against e6, but maybe it's not natural to put bishop in, like, without having played h4. Well, rook c8. Black is also going for the fun along the c file.
I don't know if black wants to exchange sacrifice on c3.
Yeah, after queen c3, I think that endgame should be better for white, right?
Should be better for white, I believe also.
So then h5, if we are not scared about the exchange sacrifice. h5, g6.
Well, probably that's what white is hesitating, whether should we be worried about rook c3?
Right.
Or
if you are worried, maybe just knight e2 and then he's not.
He's not worried.
Yeah.
He's not worried.
h5. She's playing a very nice game. I like it.
Yeah. Great energy in it.
And now black is to make a very tough decision. Should I take on c3 or what should I do? Because the attack along the c file is not that fast and white can always retreat the knight to e2, but white's attack is extremely fast now.
Well, there is no move now other than knight e2.
Right.
Queen c5, queen d2. And then sometimes queen f2 can be annoying.
Yeah, so maybe queen c5. Queen d2, queen f2. Not easy what to play there.
Well, rook h to g1, and then rook f1 is ready to kick away the queen. But maybe queen f5, queen c5, queen d2, a5 first. No, he doesn't want that. He wants to double the rook on c.
g6. Now, white is...
Well, if you said h4, h5, then there is no other way. That's
right.
the continuation.
I guess now I can take on f7, so I extract the king to the middle of the board, and then maybe play your queen d2 or queen d3. Maybe queen d3. After queen c4, I can now go back to d2, and then you don't have queen f2. I don't know why I like a little bit more the queen on d3 rather than on d2, but maybe it's just some stupid reason. Knight d4.
Actually, this is the best.
Yeah, this is the most logical.
Yeah, bishop h3, f5. Defending and attacking at the same time. These are the best moves.
I'm about to suggest a very stupid move, but can I go e5 here?
F takes e5?
D takes e5 and then the c2 is hanging. I don't know.
Well, there was queen b3, for example.
Right.
Queen c4, I understand.
Yes.
But now he wants to eliminate the knight on d4. I like this better now.
Right. This is less risky. Bishop d4 could be a threat, followed by queen c2.
Exactly.
So now it's not easy to find a move for white. Well, maybe just rook d2 and then you play the endgame. If black decides to take everything on d4, should be okay. You see something else rather than playing rook d2 here?
I don't know, just to think about sacrificing on c2. Giving up the pawn, let's say bishop h3, bishop d4, rook d4, queen c2, king a1.
Mm-hmm. And rook c8.
Yeah, I know there are some issues on c1.
Right. f5. But what happens after bishop d4 now?
F takes e6.
Right. And can I go king e8 over there?
Queen d4.
Queen c2, king a1.
Queen g2, queen d6.
Uh-huh. Right. And rook c8 there. Rook ac8.
Yeah, I understand. And you want to give some problems on queen c2, c1.
Let's see. Also, e5 now, queen b3 once again. I believe. e5 now. I guess you play queen b3. Or...
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, only 1 minute for Bupala, 1 minute and 35 seconds for Sabita. Bishop takes d4. He goes for the material. King g8.
Wow.
But now there are some mate problems, right? After queen d8. So queen d6.
Yeah, but after queen d6, you can go rook c8. Rook g1.
Right.
No.
Rook g1.
It's going to be now rook c8. Look at that.
That's beautiful. So now the threat is queen c1 checkmate, and it's never easy to give some pressure to this king.
But now
with
rook b1, and you cannot take the bishop because rook g1.
Right.
But that's not hanging because the c7 rook is there.
So rook b1. The g7 is protected, as you're saying. So then rook b1 may be only move here. Or
well, queen e3 is also possible. Or queen g1.
No, but after queen e3, I can now take the
I go
bishop.
queen g1, protecting everything.
Wow. Beautiful move. The only move that protects the background problems on the bishop in g2. That's beautiful. Not an easy move to make.
No. Well, to make it still okay, but to find it, it's not so.
Right. Yeah, to make it like if you have one hand, it should be doable.
Well, if it's the only move, it's the only move. What can you do?
That's right. She found it.
She did it.
Great defense. And now, can I just? I want to mate you. Rook c5, rook a5, or something like this.
Well, I was worried that my activity is not so good, I must say.
Right, after queen g1. Now g7, b3. So a3, I believe, or maybe a takes. And rook h3 could be a nice defensive resource as well. But what happens after rook c5 now, for example?
But probably queen b3 is also good. And then rook c5 is a threat. Now maybe rook c4.
Rook c4.
Isn't it over?
I think it's winning. Could I have played rook h3 instead of queen d4? So I want to bring the rook to a3 if needed.
I think that was the only move. And actually it was not bad at all. Well, queen e6 takes back the pawn.
Right.
And it's a pawn down, but this is lost immediately.
Yeah, 2 seconds for Sabita, and she's gonna play queen d5. a mate.
Yeah, but queen d5, bishop d5 is also not a bad choice.
It's also not bad, yeah.
Unexpected.
Okay, let's go to other game. For example, Salimova versus Mendonca, who is
Yes.
now.
But Mendonca is going to be winning with the 2 knight versus the rook.
Right.
And he's climbing higher and higher.
D5. That's a free pawn. Well, now rook d5 is a threat.
Rook d5 is a tricky threat.
So maybe queen d6.
Yeah, perfect. Ah, but now rook c1, c6. Knight
Careful.
f4. Why not knight f4? You should
Ooh,
have
knight
just
f4.
played knight f4, knight d3 and wins
That
material.
was beautiful.
This is also not too bad, I must say.
Right. And only 4 seconds for Salimova.
But also for Leon.
It's just a piece up. King g6 and no more checks. h3. And the knight does a fantastic job covering all these squares, so no, there are no checks. And now it's time to resign.
It has happened, I think.
Yep. So what else do we have? Well, still, yeah. She resigned, and I think we have one more game going on.
Yeah, the classical rook endgame winning.
Lucena Bridge. So just for those who are beginning, usually you want to bring the king out, but then the rook starts checking, and it's not easy to promote. So many times you bring the rook to the 4th rank, for example, and then at some point you just cover the king with the rook.
Yeah, okay. He goes here, king e5, rook d8.
Yeah, I mean, the king is usually on e7. Now rook d8, rook d7, just wins. King c8 now.
Rook c3, rook c7.
You call it the Lucena Bridge, right? Am I right? Or
I was just wondering when you said it, because I always call it just the bridge.
Okay.
Which is not happening in this game because it happens right after rook d4 and the king comes out and the bridge is built.
And in Spain, we call it the Lucena Bridge. I don't know why, but
I just call it the bridge.
The bridge. Easier.
Yeah.
All right, so the round is over. So maybe we can check the standings, Bane.
Let's see the standings.
So what do we have, Judit?
Let's see, what do we have? Well, Esipenko is killing everybody for the moment. He has 29. Second is Bupala with 23. Significant lead. But already Mendonca has 21. So he's going higher and higher. And with 20 points, we have Frederick Swane and we have Aditya Mittal with 20. Then 19 is Raunak Sadhvani. And with 18, Jonas Bilbere. And then number 8 is Mark Maurizi. And after that, we have some, well, the ladies are coming after that with Vantika in the lead. In the 9th spot. So let's see what's going on in the next round. I'm curious to see how Mendonca is going to be playing in the next round. What do you think?
Okay, so we have a very interesting game, Mendonca versus Frederick Spani, who is also fighting for the 2nd place.
Absolutely. So Frederick has to win. Has to win to fight for the 2nd place.
Right. Frederick has 20 points, Mendonca 21, and Bupala 23. So pretty close.
Yeah.
And so what's time? It's 19. So
I guess
it's about to start.
1 minute. In 1 minute.
1 minute. We have a lot of action here. not so many death time, right?
Well, somehow they manage time okay, but we do still see quite a lot of blitz games with 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and then it increases back and forth and drops. But we don't see many games losing on time. This is the
Right.
reason why we have the bonus time, right?
So I guess you used to play in that time where we didn't have increment, right? That was crazy, right? The time scramble, like.
But did you have periods when there was no extra bonus time?
Right. I also played some tournaments like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It was crazy. That was more like a boxing fight rather than a chess game.
Sometimes, yeah, it was a big fight at the end on time.
Okay, we have Nimzo.
Yeah.
So he takes d4 now is a threat. That's why you retreat the bishop.
B6.
6, and then you can bring the bishop to the nice long diagonal. And white has the bishop pair, but still this guy is not a very good bishop. Bishop a6. Rook e1. What's the plan here for white, Judith? Usually,
I think knight g3 is pretty good. Sometimes they do play bishop b2, I think. Even though the cd4 is not taken. Go bishop b2, queen f3, rook d1. But now it seems like white plays differently.
Could I be threatening to play bishop c4 here and trade those guys?
Bishop c4 is absolutely something white should be considering.
So you get rid of the bishop pair.
The question is whether can white play e4 and be active at certain point.
Right. And this guy has a life.
Yeah, bishop to g5.
e4 on the board. Concrete. Now bishop g5, bishop f6 is an option for white, so black has to be careful. 8-6, prophylaxis. I like this move.
The question is whether can white go d5, let's say.
d5 takes, and bishop c4. Am I on time? And
after e takes d5, I would also consider e5 maybe. And to show up with my knight on f5, queen g4, bishop h6, you know.
Right. So maybe can I go bishop c4 straight away after d5?
Then I would try maybe to take on c4 and,
right. And
to continue with maybe queen e2.
Okay. Yes. This knight here, it's not easy to retreat to d6 because of e5 and then d6. So I wanted to get crazy as well at some point, but sacrificing the bishop, but I don't have the power right now to do it. Just king g7 later. e5.
e5.
Yeah, maybe. Gaining the h5 square.
g4, well, in Blitz it can be very, very unpleasant because it's not so easy to play all the accurate moves with black.
Right. So knight h5, queen g4 is super dangerous for black.
Yes, but I don't know. It seems like knight d5 is the natural move. I don't think knight e8 is something. If knight e8 has to be played, something is really wrong for black.
Right.
But maybe knight e8 to protect the g7 and the king a bit.
Because the king is really in danger in this position. I mean, you have 3 pieces attacking. Also, the rook can join the party at some point. I would be extremely scared here with the black pieces.
Well, it's definitely scary for black. What about knight d7 and
Knight
knight
d7.
f8 to defend somehow that way?
You have the g6 square to cover your king
Knight
from.
d5.
Now, yeah, okay, c3 is under attack, but maybe I can just ignore that by playing knight h5 or even queen g4. Yeah, queen g4 and knight h5 is coming.
Bishop d3 can be a good defensive idea with bishop g6.
I like that. So bishop d3, bishop h6, and then bishop g6 maybe.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's a pawn.
It's a pawn, but also the c3 pawn is hanging, right?
But
So
I come back bishop d2.
right, I missed that. A pawn is a pawn. But bishop d2, then bishop b1, but still very scary, right? Bishop b1 and then...
Well, that's tricky, but you know, what about bishop d3? Bishop
h6.
now that's scary. I wanted to go f5, but takes ef6 and the e6 is also hanging.
Okay, okay.
No.
King h8. Now knight h5 looks supernatural.
No question about it. That's coming.
Right. That's coming. Then he wants to go rook g8.
Though knight e4 is also tempting to go to d6.
There's a nice route here. Nice spot on d6 as well.
You know what? Knight h5 I like, and if rook g8, then bishop takes d5.
Okay, ev.
And simply the structure, I think, favors white. Everything is the attack. Maybe just bishop f4 or e6.
Sorry. Yeah. He did it.
I
Bishop
think it's a
f4.
good exchange. And now either e6 or bishop f4.
I really like bishop f4, so white has to lose another tempo with the queen. But maybe queen c8 there. e6 anyway.
Well, also at some point, knight f6 can be...
Yeah, I was thinking about queen h4,
Yeah.
knight f6.
Also interesting, very interesting. Queen f3 is also something which makes a lot of sense, I believe. Queen f5 also, already threatening with maybe knight f6.
Yeah, it's very unpleasant. But Mendonca is thinking a lot now. Only 1 minute 45 seconds.
Yeah, because I think he feels it, that something is really going so well, and he wants to win this game. Because he needs this victory to go to... Is his second now? Hold on, I just want to check. He's
now
standing.
He's third now. He's third.
Yeah, so he has to win to catch up to the second, or try to catch up there, right?
Right.
Because Bupala is ahead of him.
Yep, now Spani is fighting well. Now after rook e6, you can play bishop c8. So he went e6 straight away, and now he didn't take, but instead he went bishop f4. Now queen f7.
Okay.
And it's not easy now to proceed. The problem is when you have so many good options, you know, that's a big problem for me. Because you keep thinking for a lot of time what to do.
And knight will come back to c6 at some point.
Right. And your defensive idea with bishop d3 is still in the air, and then bishop f5.
Yeah.
So suddenly, I could even think black could be okay or even better. So now he took on c5, and now maybe bishop d3.
But why not to take it back?
Right.
He went bishop d3. No patience. No patience.
No patience. He wants to consolidate with bishop f5 and then just grab the pawn.
Also, bishop g6 possible to push away the h5.
Right. To force knight to g3. And then b takes e5. Black has to be better for sure.
So now bishop f5,
Mm-hmm.
queen h4. Oh, g5, isn't that possible?
I think it is. Bishop e5, king h7, knight f6, queen f6, right?
Ooh.
So maybe you have to go back to f3 or e2.
Well, if you go back to e2, bishop g6.
Right. And now g5 looks winning.
Not so easy because bishop e5, queen a4.
Queen a4. Wow.
Yeah, and queen h5.
Right.
Queen d7.
Queen d7. Beautiful. King g6.
King g6. Beautiful, beautiful, but so what?
Right.
Yeah, g5 is unexpected. Because
Uh-huh.
you have the intermediate move of bishop e5, but then you cannot defend your knight.
That's right. So,
Wow. What kind of turning points here?
right. So, I think he saw it. He's just making sure. But that line after queen a4, queen d7, king g6 is still very tricky. I don't know. But probably it's just winning. Knight c4. He didn't go for
Wow. That's a surprise.
it. Mm-hmm. Now g5 is even better if white doesn't do anything because there's no bishop e5 check.
Well,
so.
okay, he can go knight g3, for example, if
Right.
he wants to escape from this.
Mm-hmm. I guess still black is fine after b takes e5. Pawn up.
Yeah, but simply g5 was winning material, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
of course, knight on c4 stands incredibly beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Bishop e5. Now queen h6 is not possible because of knight to e5, I guess.
No. Well, white is browning, it seems.
Only 3 seconds for Mendonca. It's also
Yeah, but I think that's not the only big problem here.
right. a5.
I don't see counter chances for white. Rook a7, rook b7, rook b2.
Mhm. Yeah,
What
this
is
guy is
white going
doing
to be playing?
is doing a great job. This guy, covering the b1 square as well.
Oh, for white, it's very difficult to create anything.
Mm-hmm. Bishop f5. Now he's gonna take everything. Now maybe king h7. G5.
Okay. Well, pawn up and much better position. Rook e6 next.
Yeah, now he controls the e file as well. Queen d7 for seconds. He's fighting. The problem is all the time this bishop on c7. It's like it doesn't have a proper square for the
King
whole game.
h7. I would go king h7. Oh,
g5.
g5 and f4.
f4 and bye-bye.
Wow, white had such a beautiful attack and it just within moves it collapsed.
Right. I think after e6, then this queen f7 was already difficult for white too.
Well, it was practically gave up a pawn for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Why is he not going f4? Yeah, he went for it. Just queen g7 or queen e6.
Okay. Well, rook b8 takes king h7.
So Williams is asking, is that Rasmus Bane playing or his brother? Is Frederick Bane? I don't know if he's Rasmus Bane brother or not. Both are German, so maybe Maybe you know more than us.
Well, White is definitely fighting for a draw. I don't know with how much success he'll have. Maybe Black wants to collect some time. He wants to. It's actually, can Black go out of the perpetuate checks?
Good question. You can never go to the long diagonal to e5 because of
In f7 check now.
right.
Is he getting checkmated?
Maybe king g5 f4.
No, queen f6.
Okay.
Okay, queen f6 takes. Ah, but actually he blundered all his pawns.
And suddenly,
Okay, that's a cheap trick with knight f3.
and you can even lose.
But
Trust me.
White may win this game if
Exactly. Now f4, what's going on here? f4? f4 is winning. Crazy.
Oh, oh my.
Okay, thank you, Steve. They are brothers.
Ooh,
Wow,
what
this
a
is
game. Oh.
this is extremely painful. Now
Yeah.
a5 and it's done.
Ooh. Well, after this, Frederick will recover hardly after this game. Ooh.
Yes.
And now
Amazing.
Mendonca, well, it was crucial game for second place, I must say, because we are running in round 12 and we have 3 more rounds to go. And
Exactly.
now Mendonca is tying for second place with Bupala.
Yes, and we received the message from Carissa. She replied she's sick, so she is not showing up today, and we wish her a fast recovery.
Absolutely.
And so maybe we can see the standings, right, Bunny? So Zipenko keeps doing his thing. We won again. 32 out of 36, and then Mendonca and Bupala tied for the second place. And Satwani with 22 points, Verre with 21, and Spani, Aditya, Maurizi with 20 points. And only 3 rounds to go, right, Judy? It's 3 rounds to go?
Only 3 rounds, so now round 13 is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm curious. Well, both games are interesting, Mendonca's and Bupala, or Raunak. Can he catch up? What are the pairings? Who are they?
Raunak is facing Malitza, and then we have Zvane versus Bupala and Bantika Agraval versus Mendonca.
What about seeing Vantika? How she's going to challenge?
Sure.
Mendonca in this. What kind of roller coasters we are seeing? I mean, this game.
This is Blitz.
Ooh. Yeah, one of the key part in Blitz: never give up, don't look back, just look forward, have the mouse ready.
Right. A lot of confidence
and really, I mean, I think really the most important thing is not look back. If you're not playing so well that you're proud of your moves, like in this game also, White made quite a few serious mistakes. He got out with a great position, and then after e6 he completely collapsed. And of course, if you're winning in a Blitz game, don't think it's over until it's over.
We've seen the best chess players in the world making big mistakes. So what if they do these mistakes, like imagine the rest of the humans, yeah?
Well.
So what do you prefer, Blitz, Rapid, or Classic?
Ooh, this is a very rough question. Well, I barely remember already how is it to play a classical. It's 8 years ago that I played my last classical game. Well, it's not that I would be playing Rapid or Blitz either. But I think it's for different for what purpose you're playing. I like Rapid quite a lot, and when I was a kid, I liked Blitz a lot. But probably also because I was extremely good in that.
So who was the best among your sisters in Blitz?
We were all three pretty good, but I think at some time I took over, maybe. And but I was very good already when I was like 8.5, 9 years old. I remember my old trainer Lapsahis telling me that when he saw me for the first time, I could be something like 9 years old. And there was a famous Blitz tournament in Pilsen, I think, in Czech Republic.
Right.
And with a lot of people, I don't know, 30 participants or something, and round robin tournament playing with, or I don't know, it was white and black, lots of games. And then he remembered that, well, he played there first against me, and he played, I think, the dragon or something. And he remembered that I was tricky already.
And you beat him.
I made some difficult moments for him to stop playing.
Great.
Yeah, because I was very good in tactics. I was very fast. And of course, in a Blitz game, it makes a great chances for you because anytime your opponent can blunder.
Exactly.
So that's why I was quite strong in that.
Great.
Okay,
So
what do we see here?
Yeah, we have the King's Indian attack between Bantika and Mendonca. B5, so white now starts with H4, bishop F4, and black starts creating counterplay on the queen side.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun to watch, right? Because white is pushing H4, knight H2, H5, bishop F4, as you showed. Black pushes A5, B4, C4. Or maybe as he played bishop B7 and maybe D4, knight B4, C4.
The engines nowadays, they don't like so much this King's Indian attack, right?
With white.
With white.
I don't know. I'm not checking it. They don't?
Right. But it's a lot of fun to play, right? With the white pieces. In Blitz games, if you know the system, it's very tricky for your opponent.
Yes.
Queen D8. And
Queen D8 is some prophylactical move, I guess. Or he's preparing against all kind of knight G5. But okay, knight H2 wants to go knight G4, I guess.
Then usually you push H5 or you put a piece on G5. Now H6. H5, knight G4, and then you are ready to sacrifice on H6, I believe, at some point.
Well, yeah, we always want to sacrifice that.
Yeah. Not my pieces.
Queen D2?
Queen D2, I guess bishop F8, but then knight G4. I'm suggesting all the time to sacrifice pieces, but when I play, I'm the most boring guy on earth. I just play boring end games like with no risk and stuff like that.
Okay, so in commentary, you like to sacrifice.
Right.
Okay, C3 makes a lot of sense. Takes. Knight E7, maybe?
The knight on F5 looks good there, actually.
Bishop A6.
Queen D2, and now maybe King H7? Is this, or he just is ignoring
He doesn't care. He says there is nothing. You cannot take on H6. I ignore your queen, bishop, knight.
Maybe you can take everything on H6 and then play Queen F8 and Queen G7.
Yeah, for the moment, I don't think there is anything special. Even the D3 pawn is hanging.
Right. So how to proceed the attack? All pieces are nicely placed there, like pointing to h6, but what's next?
Well, that's a good question. I would somehow go g4, g5, but for that you have to move the knight.
Right. And it's very hard to retreat this knight once it is already on g4, psychologically at least.
Yeah, it's a big question how to continue. The problem is I cannot bring my rook into the game there to g4 or somewhere.
Would be a nice move.
Yeah, White put all his pieces, her pieces, g4, f4. But what's next?
Yeah. Finally, knight f to h2.
Maybe with an idea to capture on h6 and to bring the knight to g4 and take on h6.
Wow. That's very interesting. Knight h6, h6, and knight g4 over there. So
Also maybe with some bishop d5, e6 kind of ideas. But now knight e7 protects against all this.
So I was thinking if I can gain the e4 square for the bishops, like trying to go for some sort of c4 at some point. So let's say, but it's too slow. Maybe your idea, now knight e3 to go g4.
Somehow it looks a little messy for me, my pieces. And it a little bit slow too.
Yep.
But that's what she does.
She goes for this. And g4 is next. Maybe you can retreat the bishop to g3, push f4 as well, or even g4, g5, as you were saying. Rook b6.
Yeah. Maybe it's not so slow, but now black wants to go rook cb8 and enter to play rook b2.
Right. Can I just, I'm going to suggest rook c1 and rook c2. It looks very strange, but maybe you can bring the rook to b1 then and exchange a pair of rooks.
Yeah.
But after rook b1, rook b8, you take on b6, queen take b6, and queen b2 is coming. So, okay.
You just moved b4.
All in. Well, maybe after rook b8, g5, rook b2, queen d1, and the queen comes to g4.
That makes sense. True.
But
though I'm not sure, like after g5, black can take and the e5 pawn is hanging.
Right. Right.
And then the d3 pawn is hanging as well.
Everything hangs there.
Yeah. It seems so.
Or maybe a sadder move like after rook b8, knight to d1, controlling b2, and then intending to proceed with the attack.
Maybe.
Some artificial moves, but what else? g5, wow.
5. Isn't this looking for trouble?
A little bit, right?
I mean, really?
But it's interesting because after h takes, knight takes, and e5 is hanging. But of course, the king is extremely weak now.
Yeah.
And after bishop g3, I guess black wants to proceed with bishop g7. Maybe d4.
Yeah, there d4 I like. It takes.
Now bishop g3, and the question is, can I just take this guy on e5? There's some knight d5 too.
Knight d5.
Right. Oh, very complicated. And f4 is coming. So, or d4, as we were saying. But d4 you can always take, and then bishop b4, right? So it's never easy.
Well, d4, knight c4, I guess.
So he took the pawn.
Okay, it takes. Well, Okay, white takes on e5 and knight d5.
EV, rook takes e5,
Hmm?
and d5 is under attack in that position. Maybe d4 over there. Knight takes d5 straight away.
Well, I guess it's the same idea, right?
Mm-hmm. What is black thinking? Maybe knight takes d3? Or what else?
Knight d3, then
Knight b6, knight e1.
maybe that's why she started with knight d5 instead of bishop e5.
Right.
So here knight d3 would be, I think, I don't believe knight d3, knight b6. And he took it.
It took it, yeah. Knight b6, knight e1. Queen d8, rook d8. Looks okay for black. If I'm not
But, hold
wondering.
on, knight b6, knight e1.
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, if there's nothing, it's a pawn up for black, so.
True. True.
But I guess you have some bishop c7 at the end of the day. So let's say queen d8, rook e1, AV, bishop c7, rook d2, and then rook a2.
Mm.
Okay. She took with the queen.
So now queen takes or pawn takes?
Yeah.
I would maybe take with the queen. Though
I
both
was thinking
sides-
about taking with the pawn just to fix the structure, but
Yeah, it's tempting, but then rook d1 with the tempo.
right.
Queen f6.
Queen f6. So Mendonca was right with this knight d3. Incredible.
Yeah. True.
At f3, and
Now
now I
bishop
like.
d7.
Right. Now that you have the chance to occupy the diagonal, looks natural.
Bishop d7.
Makes sense as well.
Now, Mendonca is after this last game.
Now he's on fire.
Yeah. Good timing, I must say.
Right. In f6, now the c3 pawn is under attack, so it's not that easy to protect it. So rook c1 is a very, very passive move. Rook d6, counterattack.
Okay. What about bishop b7?
Bishop b7. I guess you have to move the knight.
Or queen d1?
Mm-hmm. He decided to take everything, and then probably he wants to push
Bishop
the
d3.
c pawn.
C is very strong.
Right. c4, retreat the bishop, and then I like this move, bishop f1. But now what to do with the knight? The bishop on c3 is controlling everything. I guess take on c4 is enough for a manage.
Yeah, it's hard to see how white can even think of stopping the pawn after takes and c4, bishop d2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, playing c4 immediately is also just fine.
a4. Now she
Bishop
wants to run
d2.
too. Bishop d2, c3, c2, and it's done. Well, maybe, yeah, you cannot even push a5 yet, so. Yeah, and she lost some time.
She lost on time.
So nice win by Mendonca.
Yeah, yeah. It was a nice way of handling it.
So do we have any more games going on? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
For example, Bupala versus Spani.
Well, actually, Bupala is close to losing.
Yeah, bishop b4, and then start running g4, king g3, in f3 now.
Well, this I don't think he will be able to hold it. 3 seconds on the clock and pawn down.
Yeah,
Ooh,
very nice move, very nice move.
just making it over, right?
Right. He's gonna make him suffer now, going with the
Oh
king.
no, it goes all the way. Oh, so
that's
brutal.
torture. That's so rude, so unpolite.
Ooh. I mean, you could just push g5 and
Right.
just win like that, right? No, the torture way.
You can push g5 and finish him soon, but now it's gonna make him suffer.
Oh.
And king c6.
This was not a nice way, sorry.
So mean.
Okay, this is gonna be over in a second. What about other game?
Other game. What else do we have? Aditya versus Sabita. That's a queen? No, knight c5. Oh,
It's not over yet.
oh, knight b7.
But now knight b4, knight a4 was also winning.
Oh, and rook b2 then.
Yeah.
Now it's over for Sabita.
I see Joka made a saving out of a very bad position.
And
So do we have any games running still?
only this game, I believe. Joka versus Salimova, this exciting endgame.
They are still playing. Okay. Well, probably Salimova is very angry at herself not to win the much better position before. I think she had more pawns, like 2 extra pawns or something, no?
Okay, let me check.
Or wasn't it?
This is the
It was
position.
not so obvious.
No.
Only okay. So
only
it's
one.
No. What else do we have? Any other game running still?
No, everything's over. So Esipenko won once again versus Garifulina. Asaobayeva beat Jonas Bulberre, and Spani beat Bupala.
So I believe Esipenko won the tournament already without
yes
after round 13.
Yes, he's got 35 points, and Mendonca, who is second, has got 27 points. So
yeah. Okay, so it's getting clearer and clearer, the setup, how it's going to be the final standing. Of course, for Mendonca, it's still not an easy way because still 2 games to go, 2 rounds to go. Who is he playing with in the next round? Let's see.
It's very important to see because Carissa is a free win. So let's see.
Yeah, but that's Bibisara is playing against Carissa.
Right.
Esipenko is playing with
Mendonca.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a tough one.
Right, and then he also has to play against Jonas Bulberre in the last round, so not easy pairings for him.
Yeah, not at all. And but Vulapa also plays against Esipenko. He plays in last round. And he plays in the previous round, in the next round.
Bantica, Agrawal.
Bantica, yes.
And also Satwani is playing versus Maurizi now and Carissa in the last round. So
okay.
Satwani has very decent chances.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see his game in the next one. What do you think?
Okay, Satwani versus because it's the last game that we can check. Last game he's playing, he's not playing. Versus Mark Maurizi.
Maurizi he plays, so 2 good talents. We are playing just, I think, in 1 minute it's going to be starting. Well, there are some lot of mistakes, of course, we can say that, a lot of mistakes and blunders.
Yeah.
Maybe in some cases, maybe more than expected, I must say. I think there are some situations when it's surprising how easily it can turn from winning to losing and turning back from losing to winning.
For me, there is one point in these Blitz games where I don't see anything. I don't have time. I don't have time to see the whole board in 1 second. So I start playing randomly, and I just blunder so many pieces in my Blitz games. Like, it's just crazy.
And is it better for you online Blitz game or physical Blitz game? Where do you see more or less?
I think I see more over the board. Like online, I'm not used to that. I even blunder more. But I blunder everywhere. So.
Well, okay, Blitz format is that kind of format where you easily blunder, or
right.
Really, Blitz is about intuition, right?
Right.
So, okay, game starts. Sicilian.
Sicilian, once again, a lot of fun.
Once again, a rouser. Oh,
Rosolimo.
Rosolimo.
You get so sad when they don't go d4.
No, because it's a lot of fun. Why to go boring?
Right. This line with knight g2 e7. The idea is to recapture in c6 with the knight and not ruin the pawn structure. And now sometimes you want to retreat the bishop all the way down after a6 to f1, right?
Yeah. I was playing actually a little bit this kind of Rosolimo with bishop b5. Quite a few games. But mainly I was a mainline Sicilian player.
Right.
Okay, so this is some strange kind of time on-off.
Yes, where a minor piece has been exchanged. This light square bishop for a knight.
Black should be just completely fine.
Yeah.
White having no white square bishop. It does give black comfortable play.
What does he want to do in this position? Some e5, but then f6 is a nice. So queen g4 now. After short castle, bishop h6.
Bishop f6.
Bishop f6, and nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Okay, he goes bishop f6 straight away, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, if black goes short castle d5, it's gonna end up being even better.
Okay. So what about bishop g5?
Bishop g5 makes a lot of sense. Just eliminating the bishop pair.
I don't really understand actually bishop f6. I thought castle is more logical.
Maybe after bishop g5, can't you go bishop e5 there?
f4.
Wow, e5.
What's this?
What are we missing, Judith? Like, can't I just take this guy here in e5?
I don't think there is another move than taking.
Right, otherwise g7 hangs. So, wow.
Look at that, young people, brave people.
Wow. So he wants to bring the bishop to d6 probably.
Nice idea.
But for example, yes.
But I don't know if queen f5, queen g7. So so it's tricky. What about queen f6? Knight e4, queen g6.
I like that. Knight d6, nothing happens, right? I just
King
go
e7.
King e7, king f8. Yeah,
At
queen
first
f6.
it looks scary for black, I understand.
But maybe queen f6, bishop d6 is his idea. Or yeah, h5 was also sensible here.
Yes, this is always a typical pattern to go h5. But I don't know, queen g3?
Queen g3.
H4 and
H4.
queen h5.
Queen g7 and the rook is protected.
Yeah, though I'm not sure it's so
but still,
right?
Still interesting, yeah.
That's what it
g4.
does.
And queen f6. Now,
just like that. Okay, queen g6.
Knight d6, king e7 or king f8. Maybe just queen e2 and play this position, but
Well, the
there's
d6 knight is nice, that's for sure.
it's very nice. Rook d1. After bishop a6, you can play c4, or even just moving the queen away. And it's not easy to play.
No, actually, white has great compensation. Because the c8 bishop is dead.
Right. Now
G3.
g3. a4. Maybe he wants to.
Rook a5 or.
But rook a5, the bishop on c8 is hanging, so. King g8. Yeah, now your pieces are very beautiful, very nicely placed with white, but how to proceed? Maybe because it's never easy to activate the rook along the 4th or 3rd rank. The pawn on h3 is doing a great job.
Yeah, but is it? Why is it so special? If it would be h5 and you could go h4, it would be better, right?
Right. To open the h5.
Yeah. So let's say f6, bishop c3.
Mm-hmm. And f6, bishop c3, and
Now f3 or f3, right?
mm-hmm. I don't know what to play with black pieces. Like after f6, I don't see a way to proceed. Like, maybe black is just happy with the draw. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think so.
probably he wants to go rook h5.
Rook h5.
At some point.
c5.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an idea is. Sorry, what do you say?
No, I thought rook a6, but the c8 is hanging for the moment.
Right, maybe rook b8 and bishop b7.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
If the bishop arrives to the main diagonal, black should be fine.
Yeah, and
wow, 98.
The g7 is hanging with f6.
f6, attacking the knight, and you have to go back probably.
Yeah, it seems so.
f6, knight d6, and then rook b8.
I can go also rook h7 if he doesn't want to go f6.
Mm-hmm. Right, and after rook h7, still bishop b7 is a threat, so. Bishop b7 straight away, he gives up the g7 pawn.
Yeah, probably he can't stand this passive play. He says, okay, I want to break out. I give you one pawn and other pawn, but I want to see my bishop on the long diagonal.
Right, and the thing is, the knight on g7 is trapped, right?
I can fully understand him.
Right.
And actually, after knight g7, bishop c6.
The knight is trapped, right? So
yeah,
rook h7 is coming, and maybe white is already losing.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because now suddenly the bishop on c6 is
right.
one of the strongest pieces suddenly. And before, when it was on c8, It was like a pawn.
Right, and f6 is coming right now. Even after queen e5, you can play f6, and after queen trade, rook h7, and the knight is trapped.
Ooh, the long
f4.
diagonal.
Wow.
Oh, that's painful.
That's very
see.
painful.
But he wants to play f5
Mhm.
to bring out the knight.
Yeah, so
probably.
let's say rook h7,
Uh-huh.
f5, pawn takes, and knight e8. And knight
Yeah.
f6 coming. Very interesting. Can I go, Judith? Well, I was about to do the same thing, f5, but then queen e5 is very scary, at least.
What about rook h4?
Rook h4. Wow. Yes. So you attacking the f4 pawn,
Yeah, and I'm thinking to go also rook g4 possibly.
right? And can I go f5 once again after queen e5?
I
rook
think
h7?
you would. I think you would. But still takes.
Only 40 seconds for Sadwani. Queen e4. Makes sense as well. But the d7 pawn is hanging, but rook h7 once again.
Yeah. Well, white is in huge trouble.
Maybe the only try is f5 here.
f5, e takes f5.
And rook f1. I wanted
But
to.
now rook h4.
Ah, I see. g4. So knight h5 is a threat. Bishop f3
f3.
takes, and rook e7.
And then rook h7, knight e8. That's the.
He's finding some nice tricks, yeah?
Yeah.
He's
And
finding
rook
some.
e7 is a nice move, but it's the only move.
Right. Can I
What
go
about
king
king
f8 here? Yeah.
No, that was not the move. Ah, because
Knight e8, you have king
king
f8.
f8, there was the move.
Right.
King f8, knight f6, rook h4, bishop
Bishop
e1.
e1.
Wow. Rook h6.
Yeah, that's
Wow, so many ideas, tactics.
And now maybe you have to go knight e4 and then try to grab the c5 pawn, but should be losing.
Yeah, because eventually once the rook shows up on g2, that will be the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the h2 pawn is likely to fall very soon. So knight g4, knight d7, or knight e4, knight d7,
Yeah, or
and knight
king
c5.
g2. Also, you can start with king g2, king f2.
Right.
But anyway, rook g6 in the next move.
It's not easy to stop the rook g2 idea.
Yeah, the bishop is also very powerful. Bishop can go back to f5 only, limits some important squares for the knight.
20 seconds, knight d7. He grabs the pawn, and now rook g6. Well, now bishop b2, bishop g3, bishop c4 probably, but yeah, this should be losing, right, Judith?
Absolutely. Take on a2 just in case. And then bring the rook. Rook g8, rook c8. And it's happening. Oops, rook
B.
g3.
Oh,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah. So Raunak won his game, which means that he's
now second.
second with 28 points. What did Mendonca do? He lost.
He lost versus
He lost.
Esipenko, right?
Yeah. So as we know, timing is important. So Raunak was somewhere below. For some time, he was in the top. And then somehow he disappeared for some time, and now he's back. 2 rounds to go.
Yes.
2 rounds to go. Mendonca and Bupala is on 3rd and 4th place, tying with the same point, 27 points. And after that, Frederick is with 26 points together with Aditya Mittal. And only after that, Maurizi, Jonas Baer, Garifulina, and Asaybayeva.
But there's one very important remark, that this could mean that Satwani already qualified for second place, because in the last round, he's playing Carissa Jeep, and if she doesn't show up, that means he gets 3 points, and he's 28 points now, and Mendonca is 27.
Exactly.
So now Mendonca should be calling Carissa Jeep, like, please show up. Please do me this favor. And otherwise,
it would also not mean that she would save the game, but at least give a chance. So this means that we have the first 2 players,
right,
who qualified for the finals, which is going to be on 29th and 30 October. And
that's right, and they're the 2 higher rated, right? Esipenko for sure, but Satwani, I think he's number 2 by rating.
Yes, I think so, with 26.72. Absolutely. It's interesting, actually, that many people think that, well, in Blitz, in Rapid, the strengths is not shown exactly, but if you look at the tournaments, in many occasions, you will find actually the same order.
Right. At the end of the day, the strongest are, the first places.
Yeah. And we can say that those 2 players, by far, they were much, much higher. And even Mendonca, if you think about it, he's 25.96, also quite significantly ahead. But the next one would be, actually, Bupala is kind of a surprise that he's doing so well, because in rating, he's not so high. He's only 24.58. For example, Frederick is higher, clearly higher, 25.66. Also, Bierne, Jonas, he's almost 2,600. So actually, Bupala showed something extraordinary,
right,
to his rating.
That's right. And I have to be honest, I didn't know about Bupala before this tournament, but for sure he has increased his rating a lot in the last months or year. I'm just gonna check in the FIDE, his performance in the last months or something. So he's 1,800 in rapid rating.
Wow.
And yeah, he won like 160 points, classical FIDE rating points in between December 2021 and January 2022. So.
Wow.
Very strong.
Yeah, he's very young. I think he's only 15.
Only 15, right.
So he's also a player who we can follow.
That's right. So where are we going to follow in the last round? Not this one.
Let's see
Satwani versus
Bupala.
Carissa. Okay.
Or yeah.
Esipenko versus Bupala. That sounds nice.
Yeah, let's see that game. if Bupala can show that he can beat Esipenko.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to start in just in a minute, I guess, because every 20 minutes we have a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like, yeah, and it's going to be starting. Actually, I never played the Blitz tournament online.
No, never?
No, I don't know the feeling, how it is to play a Blitz, to have the tension over the screen.
It's even worse. I mean, for me, for example, I played, we have had in the last couple of years, we call it like the Ibero-American Championship online. It's like Spain, Portugal, and whole Latin America.
Yes.
And for me, it was just too stressing. Like I had like a couple of tense matches versus one Cuban Grandmaster. And it was even worse than playing OTB. And you know that a lot of people are watching, and you don't want to blunder so badly, because everybody's going to make a lot of fun of you.
So that was the problem, what you were afraid of or worried about.
No, but also the games, you know. But yes, I'm also worried about that sometimes, you know, but something very stupid, but it happens.
Yeah. No, because it's just completely different, right? To look at the screen and play with the mouse and not with your hand, right?
Right.
You have the tension and you make the...
Right. I was playing versus Jorge Cori. I was beating him like 2-0 or something, and I was shaking like at some point. Like, what's going on, Pepe? Like, you have played against a lot of grandmasters the whole life over the board tournaments, and here you're playing some stupid online tournament and you're shaking, but it happens.
Yeah, probably it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
But still it's blunders here, blunders there, and good games here.
Yeah.
And there.
The
E5
blunder party
wants to go E4, F3.
Mm-hmm. I think we saw a similar structure yesterday, like with a pawn on E4 and this setup that you were thinking about ED4 and B5. There was a rook on E8.
Well, now the question, what he's gonna do? Rook E8, D5.
Mm-hmm. D5 is natural
E4.
as well.
What about E4?
E4, pawn takes E4, and then knight takes E4.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He goes for B6.
Ah.
The idea of going bishop A6 and then knight A5 and then put pressure against the weak pawn on C4.
Okay, but maybe you don't have enough time, do you?
Maybe not. So what happens after bishop A6 now? Well, D6 first. E4, and now I like bishop A6. Maybe just knight. No, I cannot move the knight. D4 is hanging.
Oh.
Yeah, prophylaxis versus bishop G5, which could be annoying. I know that sometimes you just don't care about the C4 pawn, and then just start attacking.
Maybe you better care about the C4. I mean,
there are some lines, right, in the Nimsa where you sacrifice this pawn and you start attacking on the king side.
Well, but then you have to be already far ahead in the attack.
Right.
G4. I was wondering about this move, you know, I just didn't dare to say it. I said, nah, I mean, really, G4. What about knight G4 and queen H4? Is that possible?
Maybe. King D2, I guess.
King D2. Yeah.
So I think we're going to have an interview after this last round with Esipenko and Satwani. Queen F6. Double attack versus F3 and D4. Maybe can I go d5 here, and after queen f3, rook f1?
Queen g4.
Queen g4, maybe too many pawns, yeah?
That's a good question.
Otherwise, I'm just losing a pawn, right? I mean, maybe I can
Well,
sacrifice.
yeah.
So let's say, well, not easy to say even short castle because the h4 pawn is hanging. So
Yeah, I mean, it looks like all these pawns out on the fourth rank,
Mhm.
d5. So now the big question is, queen f3 or knight moves?
I mean, if the knight moves, I think after something like even king f2, I think I prefer white there. But
I think after knight a5, I would go knight g3. So I have queen e2 on bishop.
right. That's even better. And knight h5 is coming as well, some positions. So maybe you have to go queen f3 here, d takes e6. Sorry, rook f1, queen g4, d takes e6, queen h4, and let's say king d2.
Yeah, but it
So-
looks that white is going to be
Yeah.
stepping away to c2, and then he starts using those g and h5 for attack.
Right. Yeah. So maybe, sadly, you have to retreat or just to go knight a5, knight g3. But that position looks very, very nice for white. Rook f1. He goes for queen f3, then Bupala. Here we are.
So can black go something like f5?
Mhm.
I think somehow he should be fast and active.
Yes, if you let white to consolidate king c2, bishop e3, then bring
Knight
some
g5 is also interesting because e4 is hanging.
Mhm.
Though I was happy kind of to play with f5.
Yes. Can I take this guy on e4?
Maybe f5 now. If you take on e4, what about rook h1,
Queen g4,
rook
and then rook
g1,
g1. Right.
and bishop h6 and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Or instead of rook g1, bishop h6?
Yeah, he took it. He's not scared.
Well, how do you know he's not scared? He just...
I'm assuming. So many things. So rook g1, queen h4, and now bishop h6 straight away, I guess. Queen h6, bishop e4, and the point is after f5, you always have this bishop d5 check, which is very annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Looks very bad for black, this position.
I don't think he can hold it.
And you're gonna connect the rooks and bring the rooks to h file and g file, and it's just terrible. Rook h1 is also a threat.
Queen e3. Knight g3.
Mm-hmm.
Opening up the diagonal for the queen to h5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the
almost
king
over.
is so safe on c2. It can also go to b3.
Right. Now queen h5 is also coming, so looks like game over already for Mr. Bupala. Bishop e6.
Queen h5, you know?
Queen h5. Threatening checkmate in one move. And I don't see what to play with black there.
Well,
g6,
can we
I
go
can always
f5?
take. f5. Maybe yes, because after knight f5, you have queen e4 check.
Check.
Mm-hmm. But maybe just bishop d5 or what? Or even rook e1. Rook E1, Queen F2.
Or F5, Queen G6.
And after pawn takes, Queen E6 check, yeah.
But Queen F2 check. King B3.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot go Rook F6 maybe to Queen F6. Okay, now what to do?
Mm-hmm.
King
King
B3.
B3. I guess. And I guess F5 now you can even take with the knight, right? But Rook F5, it's not easy.
Then Queen G6.
Queen G6, yeah, that was the idea, and I think it's also
Bishop
winning, right?
C4 takes. I know that's tricky because maybe Bishop C4 takes Queen C5.
In B3,
King D3 because King B3, Queen B5, and Rook F2 maybe.
right?
Because at some point, of course, Black wants to. That's the only chance I think to take Bishop C4 maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's also very safe to go just Bishop D5 if you wouldn't see anything concrete.
Yeah, Bishop D5 is always the safe way. Though it's a question. Oh,
A5. A5, so he just wants to bring the king to C2. And now you can bring the other rook.
well, actually, Rook G7, it might be a threat.
Mm-hmm. 20 seconds only for Bupala.
Well, I'm afraid that White is going to be winning here.
Yeah. This rook is also out of the game. Rook G7 is a threat. Yeah, now Rook G7 should win. King takes, Rook G1, King F6. And then how to finish over there.
Well, maybe there is also something. You mean how to give mate there?
Right, right. So Rook G1, King F6.
Rook G6.
Or even
No,
Queen
but he
G6,
took
Queen
on
E6.
G1. Yeah,
Okay.
he took, and this is the only chance for him, but still probably knight H3, G5.
Mm-hmm.
Queen E7.
Maybe just collecting this
Just
guy is
collecting
also
it.
the safest way. And then knight F3 is coming. Queen H1 check and knight F3.
Yeah.
You block there, start building, and knight D4. D3, King C4. Last tricks. Knight D4 should be fine. Then the king hides on C4.
That's a good shelter.
Mm-hmm. Knight F5 is
Now the
coming as
rook
well.
cannot escape. This one or the other one with knight F5.
Right. And I guess it's time to resign very soon. Queen F3 and or Queen
Take the
H6.
pawn up first and then the C7. Check on E6. I think it will not last many moves.
Right, and he resigned. And I think, Judith, we have already a guest here with us, so maybe Bane, you can let him or her in. I think it says Okay. Let me see. So Satwani, are you there? I think we cannot see you yet or hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
How are you
Hi.
doing?
Yeah. Good. Very tired.
How did
So,
you feel after these 2 days? It was quite tense, 2.5 hours each day.
Yeah, and I was playing a classical tournament on top of that as well. So that was a big problem. I missed first game because of that. I got late.
Okay, so you're playing in Dubai, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, it finished today.
How did it go there for you?
Not so great. I lost some rating, but it's fine.
Okay.
How well prepared are you in Blitz games? Are you playing a lot of Blitz games?
Recently I played in Abu Dhabi. That's it. Last 1-2 months I haven't been playing any Blitz.
Mm. So you're not the player who plays online a lot?
No, I do play a lot, but when I'm at home, not when I'm playing tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your next events?
My next event, I'm not sure yet. Like classical events aren't planned, so I'll go home, take some break, and then be back.
Because you've been playing a lot, right? You played in the Olympiad. You have played now, and before the Olympiad, for sure, you had some preparation tournaments, right?
Yeah, I played like 5 tournaments in a row.
Okay, so you have to be super tired now.
Yeah.
What do you like about Blitz, and which game do you consider you can say that you're proud of in this event?
Last game was very interesting against Morrissey. My pieces are stuck, but I have some extra material. I think that was a really interesting game. But I like my game against Leon the most. It was very clean. I won with like 4 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
Wow.
And what are your goals in the next couple of months? What are your objectives, and how professional are you taking chess?
Of course, chess is my main game, so I'll analyze all my games after going back home and check what I did wrong and work on those mistakes, and then come back stronger in next tournaments.
And do you work in groups or you just work by yourself?
Yeah, by myself and sometimes with my coach.
Okay.
What is your working habits? Like, what are your focuses? Because I know that the times when I come from many years ago, when I was a teenager, I worked very differently than you guys. So in my time, we were working from books and paper-based material and analyzing over the board at home. For you, it's very different. What is the natural way of process of a working day?
No, I still follow the old school method. I do work with books most of the time and openings. But when I start working on openings, it goes for a very long time. I don't check middle games that day.
Mm-hmm. And besides chess, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Maybe some sports, maybe you like dancing, maybe you like going to the cinema. What do you like to do?
I like playing cricket, and after like 1.5 hours, I'll go and play a football match.
Ah, cool. I have to say that I played cricket. I had a flatmate from India in my master's in Germany. So I used to hang out with all Indian friends, and I used to play cricket. It's so hard to beat the ball with the bat. I mean, for somebody who plays for the first time, it's just insanely. Yeah, it's so tough.
Are you playing frequently, cricket?
Yeah, I played almost every day.
Wow, so that's really serious for you as well. Are you competing as well, or just like supporting your chess career?
Yeah, like for physical fitness, since you have to run a lot there, so I play cricket and do gym. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And where do you live in India? In which city?
Nagpur in Maharashtra.
Okay.
Well, I would like to congratulate you for being the second place and qualifying for the Final Four in October 29th and 30. And I wish you good luck until then and improve your chess.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly. So take care. Yeah. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
And we have another guest now, the winner of the tournament. Yesipenko is here in the room. Can you hear us, Andrei?
Yes, I hear you.
How are you? We cannot see you yet, I think, the video.
For some reasons, I can't. Okay.
And shortly, I think we are going to have the winner with us, Yesipenko, who made a huge score.
How are you, Andrei?
I'm good. Thank you.
Congratulations. How do you feel after this 2 days where you won the tournament extremely convincingly?
Well, it's always nice to win tournaments like this, and just to win the tournament. Yes, and yeah. Now I will prepare for some classical chess.
So where are you playing now?
I'm playing the Russian super final in 1 week.
How much do you like the different time controls in chess, the classical, rapid, and blitz?
I like all of them actually, and but I prefer classical because I need some time to think. So I prefer classical.
And what is your background in blitz? Because I have the feeling that you are a very experienced blitz player, not only a good player, but experienced blitz player. How much blitz were you playing then since you're a kid?
Not a lot actually. I started to play this online stuff like 2 years ago maybe.
In the pandemic, yeah.
But not like these kids. It's not that much. Yes. So yeah, I'm experienced, but not a lot.
And how much do you feel the difference between the over-the-board blitz game and the online blitz game? Whether can you show your strengths the maximum over the online events also, or you're better on over-the-board?
I think it doesn't matter for me. But I prefer to play over the board, of course. But for me it doesn't matter actually. I like to play online, offline, doesn't matter.
Then you have a blitz game. For example, in game 2, you played against Mittal. You had a very good game. Probably you remember. You had played so many games. And then you ruined it a little bit after bishop e7, bishop d6. And then things were going very wrong. And then, well, you turned everything up and down, and then you win the game. And you had, I think, some other game also where things were not going exactly perfectly. How can you get over on a position where you made a mistake, where you're angry at yourself?
I analyzed my last games this year, and I felt that sometimes when things go wrong, I just can't continue playing. You know, I just always ruin my position, like trying to play for a win or something like this. And now I'm trying to play normal even when I miss something or miscalculated or whatever. So I'm just trying to continue playing like best moves. That's it.
Nice. So what are your goals for the next months or years, let's say? You want to become world champion?
For this year, I'm just trying to be in a good shape, because in this year I just played really badly. I lost like maybe 50 points.
Mhm.
Yes, and it's hard to accept, but I have to work harder, and everything will be better.
So are
Right.
you professional? You're not studying? You don't have plans to study university?
I'm trying to concentrate on chess.
Well, I see you have plenty of cups behind you. That's
Yes.
a great, great threat for the opponent to show all these cups.
That was the reason why.
To scare them.
Though you still have to have this kind of what we have, so it cannot be disturbing psychological weapon against the opponent. Well,
Yeah.
I would like to congratulate you because you were really very convincing. You played very well, and you qualified obviously for the Final Four for October 29, 30, and took the $2,000 first place prize. And well done, and good luck for the future.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Congratulations and thanks for being here and showing up.
Thank you.
Take care, Andrei.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. So we had two guests, Judit, very nice kids, very nice people. And it's been a lot of fun, right? This event.
Well, absolutely. It was great fun. It was great to see the players, the young talents, girls and boys out there who are representing their countries. They're fighting so hard. And of course, most of the players already, or many of the players are representing their country, playing in different team competitions as well. And for those who not yet, then they will for sure, because they are really the best talents in the world right now under age 20. Maybe we can see the final result just once more. So we see the final standing, just to see all the 16 players, the 8 girls and 8 young gentlemen there. So this is the final score, which was with Andrei Yasipenko. He made a huge score with 41 points. He dropped, he did not lose any single game. And then Sadwani became second with a clear advantage, clear few points, 4 points, which is 1.5 point in chess game calculation. Then Spani played at the end very well. He came back, Frederick, with a few people of tie from 3 to 7 with Aditya Mittal on Mendonca. He was so close to become the qualifying for the final, of course. But also Baer played some very good games. Bupala, well, he played excellent. That's very clear. And then on the 8th place, it's Mark Adrian Maurizi. And then we have the girls being there on the second half of the event, which we very much regret that Carissa, she was not able to continue her tournament for health reasons today. But all the rest, the girls, I hope that nobody is bitter and unhappy because they gained some experience, and I hope they're going to be doing better. And thanks very much, Pepe, for being here and doing the commentary. It was real fun.
No, thanks a lot. It was very nice to join you for this event. It's very important to remember the people that will be back the 8th and the 9th of October for the second leg of this event, which is called the Magnus Academy Challenge, where they will be fighting for qualifying for the Final Four. So it's been awesome to be here with all of you guys to learn from Judit. So see you in the next event. And thanks, Judit, for being here.
Thank you. And thanks for our tech team, Vanessa.
Right.
Without all the technical help, it wouldn't be like this. So thanks very much.
Right.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye, guys. Take care.
I'm ahead of the game. Remember who am I? I'm a boss and I'm honestly off my rocker, but follow me, I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. I'm only ever slinging, I'm working overtime. Got the song and I'm the singer, the melody, the vibe.
throughout the whole course, there were a lot of annotations. This one game I was playing against strong Czech Grandmaster, Indian International Master Bharat.
Magesh took over in his group classes. Once he reached
This kid, is super talented.
He's really good at calculating. He's really good at the openings.
I think 2700 is gettable in another 3 years.
Okay, so let's send the challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. Oh, what are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
That I give him up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
Welcome to the new Chess24 playing experience. Play in light mode or dark mode. Choose from a range of time controls or create a custom game and get paired with players from around the world fast. Enjoy a polished playing experience while making moves on a fresh, responsive board to claim your victories. Train and improve with over 80,000 puzzles. And that's not all. Download now and discover what more you can enjoy in our brand new app.
Chessable, the definitive solution for studying chess. Choose from one of the largest online chess libraries in the world, with hundreds of titles ranging from classic books through to our exclusive Chessable courses.